So for this exercise, I'm going to be creating a new design, and mentioned in the slides that it's going to be 11 inches by 8 inches. So when you type in your measurements here, make sure that you're always using the correct unit of measurement. So we're not working in pixels, we're not working in millimeters or centimeters, we want it in inches. And I'm going to go ahead and create. And this is now my workspace. It's the size of a normal printer paper. So we're going to look at two ways of making shapes, vector shapes in Gravit. This is also similar to Illustrator. We're going to first look at the pen tool and then the shape tool. I think it's a new function, but as you hover over every icon, it gives you a preview of what it does. So I'm going to select the icon that looks like a little pen, like an old school pen. And we're going to start creating paths and anchor points that make up shapes. So there are two different kinds of shapes that you can make with the pen tool. It can either be an open shape or a closed shape. When you are making an open shape, and I'm going to start making an open shape with straight lines. So I'm going to select where I want to put my first anchor point. So I just click down once and I release on my touchpad, and it gives you a preview of where the line is going to go. This line is called the path. And I'm going to select here. So I click down on the left side of my touchpad and I release. So I'm only clicking down once. That's my second anchor point. And then I just keep going until I have the shape that I want. So I'm just clicking down once and releasing immediately. Once I feel like I'm done, I'm going to press Escape on the keyboard, and this is giving me an open shape. So what open shape means is that the first anchor point and the last anchor point are not coinciding. So I have this space in between the first and last one. Okay? I'm going to delete this. If I wanted to make a closed shape, I do the same process. So here I'm using straight lines. I'm clicking. And then when I want to join first and last anchor points, I hover over it. You notice it's very small, but next to the mouse cursor, there's a little O. So I click, and then that's my closed shape. There's no space in between the first and last anchor point. So this is straight lines. What if I want to do curved lines or like something more rounded? There are two ways of doing this. I'm going to show the one that I do not like first. So the first way to do it is you click, created my first anchor point. Then for your second anchor point, you're going to click down on your touchpad, but you're not releasing your finger. You're kind of sliding your finger either up and down or side to side to get that angle of the curve. And these two lines that pop out, these are called control handles. And you just keep going. So I'm not clicking down once like that. I'm clicking, I'm sliding my finger on the touchpad until I get the curve that I want. And I'm dragging out those control handles. I'm going to close this shape up. Okay, so here where I have that angle, I click down once on the touchpad and release. Everywhere else, I slid my finger to the side so I could drag out that handle. Okay, so this is the first way of doing a curve. The second way I prefer just because it's a little bit more precise for me. So you kind of get like an outline of the shape that you want really quickly using, the straight option. And then I'm going to go from select in the pointer tool, I'm going to go to sub-select. So black cursor versus white cursor. Black cursor, the pointer, is when you want to select a whole shape like this. But what if I want to go ahead and select those anchor points and move those anchor points around or do something to them? I need to go into sub-select. So once I'm in sub-select, my anchor points are highlighted like that. And then over here where it says appearance, under joint, I'm going to change the joint from straight to mirrored. and that's going to become a curve. So I don't know, this method works better for me just because I tend to use vector graphics when I'm tracing something. So I kind of just like, if you have like example, a photo of a flower or something and you want to trace it, then I just do quickly, you know, the straight kind of like jagged lines, and then I go here and change them with the joint tool so that they all become curves, and then I can just kind of modify them and get them to the shape I want like that. That's just how I prefer it. Okay, I'm gonna go to pointer, select the whole thing, and then delete. One thing that you can do if you're trying to draw something geometric, right, and you want it to be like exactly at 90 degrees, you can use shift while you keep shift pressed down, and it gives it a orthogonal, I think is the word, constraint. So you're either at 90 degrees, 45, or 180, or 0. Okay, boom, like that. And that's the path tool. I think I'm going to do another video for the shape tool just so they're two separate ones.